Stricker at Evergreen Pilates, and today I welcome you to the 4th week of Adore Your Core. Today we're going to focus on three-dimensional core. And what does that mean? Well, that means working the front of your body, the back, and the sides. So moving in all ranges of motion, whether it's to the front and the back, side, and also rotation. We know that this type of movement makes us incredibly strong and helps us to stay injury-free and hopefully to have a great season doing the things we love. The 5 exercises we'll focus on today are shoulder bridge, can, side leg kicks, swan, and push-ups. Let's get started. Go ahead and roll down onto your back and position your feet about the width of your sits bones. You want to be able to touch your heels if possible. If that's not possible, just bring them as close as you can. And then once you're here, start by finding your hips, bring your hands to the front of your hip bones. Let's take a few pelvic curls. So curl your tailbone toward your belly button and feel your spine come down gently into the mat. And then uncurl your hips and feel your low spine leave the mat. So there's the pelvic curl, not moving a whole lot except for your hips here. Rock a few times until you feel a lightness under your low spine and you're releasing your tailbone down the mat. You should be able to have about a palm's width beneath the low spine, and then take your top hand right over the top, making kind of an ab sandwich here, and pull your muscles down away from your top hand without moving your hips. Let's take a couple breaths here, warming up our core. As you inhale, open and expand your rib cage. And as you exhale, wring the breath out, drawing in your ribs and pulling your belly muscles down into your spine. So literally drawing your belly button to your spine. Take another breath that way. Inhale, expand the ribs laterally. And then exhale, wring the breath out and knit them together and draw navel to spine. Once you've done that, bring your arms up for a moment toward the ceiling and just shrug your shoulders up and then shrug them down. So feel your shoulder blades widen and then feel them narrow so that you're finding more of a neutral alignment for your shoulder girdle. And then bend your elbows and bring your triceps and the backs of the arms tight down by your sides, and then press down through your forearms and your palms. So we want to feel active through the back of the arms, shoulders, and rib cage. Let's go ahead and do that shoulder bridge now. So go back to the pelvic curl. Inhale, curl your hips, and exhale, rise all the way up onto your shoulders. Should be looking straight up to the ceiling, resting on your shoulders, not your neck, and pressing down through the entire foot. So you want to feel your heels, the balls of your feet stretch out through your toes, and then bring your spine down one vertebra at a time like a strand of pearls. Keep going until you feel that tailbone release and your pelvis gets nice and heavy. All right, let's go ahead and go back up again. Inhale, curl your hips, peel your spine, roll up high, reach your knees forward over your toes and your thighs upward toward the ceiling. Feel your arms pressing, stand firmly across the back of your shoulders. Now what we're going to add to this is a knee fold. So lift your right foot off the mat, just fold that knee up and then stand your foot back on the mat. And then do your left, lift and then stand back down. As you alternate, try not to move your hips. Try not to move anything except for your legs. You really want to feel the strength through the back of your hips and the back side of your body here. After we do this one, let's go ahead and roll the spine from the top all the way down to the bottom and release. Okay, good job. We're going to do one more bridge. So curl the hips, peel all the way up again, ground down through your feet, and lift up through your thighs. Extend your right leg out, point your foot, and point up to the ceiling, and then flex your foot and lower your leg down. And point up and flex down. Let's take one more. Inhale up, exhale down. Stand your foot back on the mat, and then extend your left leg. Point your foot, inhale up, exhale, flex down. Try to keep that leg straight as you sweep, almost like you're painting the ceiling with your toes. Then stand your foot on the mat and roll your spine all the way back down. Heel toe your feet out a little bit wider, and then windshield wiper your knees just side to side a little bit. So loosen up through that low spine, and good job. After you even yourself out, We're gonna bring our knees and feet together and then come to table knees by drawing your belly in one at a time. Reach and grab the back of your legs and then come up to a C curl, lifting your head and shoulders. Press your thighs into your hands to curl yourself all the way up to a seated position. Now we're going to move into can-can. So bring your arms back behind you and press down through your forearms and your palms, reach your fingertips. When you get here, you want your spine to be very elongated, your heart to be very open. We want to avoid sinking down into our shoulders here. And then bring your feet a tiny bit closer and come up to your toes. Now imagine that you're squeezing an envelope with your ankles and your kneecaps so that you're sealing your legs together. And what we're going to do here is keep the body, keep our torso facing forward as we rock the knees and the legs side to side. So on your inhale, go right, and then go left, and right, and as you exhale, kick. Now we go through the center. And left, right, left, and kick. Inhale, right, left, right, kick, and left, right, left, and kick. Take two more. Right, left, right, kick, and one more. Left, right, and left, and kick. And go ahead and come all the way in and press yourself up off your elbows. Nice job. Now turn to your side, come down onto your forearm again, and this time have the bottom leg bent forward and the top leg out straight. So this is a version of sideline leg kicks where we're up. If you need to come down, you certainly could do this down, but today we're going to try to do this up on the elbow. And just like can-can, you want to avoid sinking down into your shoulder. Okay, so keep a nice strong side body. Keep your waist elongated and lift that top leg. Now you could put your hand here as a reference point or for stability, press into the mat, okay? So we're gonna point forward and flex back, okay? Point forward, flex back, and inhale, and exhale, and inhale forward, exhale back. Let's take two, back, and one, and back. Now let's make it a little more tricky or challenging. So pulse to go forward and pulse to go back, and forward and back. Make sure you're not wobbling around as you're doing this. So just use a range where you have stability. And one more, and back. Nice job. Now stack the leg again directly in line with your hip, shoulder, check that bottom shoulder again, no slouching down. And let's lift this leg up. Just press it up. Flex that foot and really be intent on lifting through your heel. As you're feeling this work, feeling that outer hollow of your hip. So if your leg is too far forward, it's going to be really tight in that hip flexor. So maybe go a little bit behind you to make sure you're really in that outer glute med here. And take one more. Now we're going to finish this off by pointing the foot and doing little circles. So about the size of a frisbee, circle through. I'm just taking about 5. And then reverse it. Circle it out again. One side is directions feels a little easier than the other. And when you finish, come all the way up to Z-sit. Let's go ahead and stretch that out with a mermaid stretch, something we did in one of our last workouts. So slide on over and just feel a nice stretch. Should be able to kind of see under your arm here, make sure you're not falling forward. And then come all the way up. Okay, let's switch sides. So again, set it up by bottom leg bent forward, top leg straight out in line with your hip and your shoulder. And then your elbow is under your shoulder, your arm is out, and be strong in your side plank muscles, okay? Okay, lift that top leg. And again, either hand here for reference or press for stability. And let's point forward and flex back. So we're going nice and smooth, literally like we're painting and going over a horizontal plane, right? Like just like you're dusting, could you imagine? And one more. Let's make it a little harder now. We pulse, pulse, and pulse, pulse, and pulse, pulse, and back, right? So inhale one direction, exhale the other. Let's take 2 more. Keep staying lifted, and one more, and back. Now, bring the leg out from your hip and shoulder, recheck your posture in your spine, and let's flex that foot and lift up. Emphasizing pressing up through the heel and checking that you feel this in the hollow of your hip and not in your hip flexor as you pick up that leg. Not important to go super high. We don't want to shrug here or fall down into our shoulder. Let's take 2 and 1. Last one, point your foot and draw those frisbees. Let's see if we can make them nice and circular as opposed to whipping them around. Really see that circle, and then reverse it. And again, feel that outer hip, right? Just like before. All right, when you finish 5 and 5, go ahead and come on up, and let's do that mermaid stretch again. So come all the way down and stretch it out. All right, good job with that. Now we're gonna go onto our belly side to do our swan. So we have a couple different ways we're gonna approach this today. So lying on the belly, go ahead and bring your hands beneath your shoulders and your forehead to the mat. Draw your legs together. So maybe you can feel those big toes touch, your heels press together, and zippering up your legs like a mermaid. On your inhale, just lift your head and your shoulders and your chest, and feel your shoulder blades go down your back. Check that you're drawing your belly in, curling your tailbone to the mat, and then come all the way back out of it. So one of the biggest things we want to notice when we come up is that we're not cranking our head really high here. So just float your head up and keep the back of the neck just as elongated as the front of your neck. Kind of like you have like a turtleneck on, or like a neck gaiter. And then bring it all the way back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, coming up. Maybe you come up a little higher and pull your heart through and pull your elbows back. And exhale back down. And let's go for 1 more. Coming up again. And exhale back down. Really nice job. We're going to go ahead and press up to child's pose before we move on to our final exercise. So widen our knees, big toes come together, and then sink down onto your elbows and forearms. And take a few breaths here. Catch your breath. And then what we're going to do here is add a little bit of rotation. So if you come up to your hands again, take your right arm and slide it under your left and kind of chase it through with your shoulder and rest on the side of your shoulder and your temple, a little bit off of your forehead and cheek here, and feel the rotation of your rib cage. Still aim your hips over your heels and take this opportunity to really breathe into your side body. And then come back, extend out that right arm, and let's do the same thing to the left. Slide the left under and chase it through. Find your left temple, your left cheek, your back of your left shoulder. This should not feel strenuous in any way in your neck, so make sure you're comfortable here. And then again, feel your rotation this direction. Take 1 more breath here. And then unthread your arm, come back into your child's pose, and let's wind all the way back up. Okay, good job with that. Now, we're gonna move on to the 5th exercise in today's sequence, and that is the push-up. So, if you are able, you may do your push-ups all the way up on your feet, right? With your legs straight, or you can do them bent knee. That's the way I'm going to do it today. So we wanna position either way with our hands under the shoulders. And we want to have a nice elongated spine, so a neutral pelvis here. And then if you're going to be on your knees, you're going to scoot those knees out a bit. And let's go ahead and keep that nice straight line. Inhale, bend the elbows. Exhale, press to come back up. Keep your belly pulling to your spine. You want to notice how we tighten our legs together. Squeeze your sits bones as you work. Inhale to lower down. Exhale back up. It's really important that we're not sagging down at the hips, but leading through the chest. Let's take 2. And let's take 1. And press all the way back up. All right. Good job today. Thank you for joining me for this 4th lesson in Adore Your Core. And please subscribe to our channel if you like our videos, and leave us comments below. It helps us to make more videos that are useful to you. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks again.